Lesson number 64, page 112. We are starting level 9. Innal hamdalillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Respected and beloved students, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are starting a new level, level 9, and we will be reading page 112. Before we start this page, I would just like to, as an introduction, would like to mention something that in the English language, we know there are many words which have certain letters, but those letters will not be pronounced and read. So, example, if we look at the word knife, you know, when we used to cut something, a knife, we used to cut. So we say knife. But if we spell the word knife, it starts off with K-N-I-F-E, K. It starts off with K. We don't say knife, we say knife. So although when it's time to spell the word, we spell it with K. But in fact, when you pronounce the word, you won't pronounce the K. So the K is like a silent letter. We will call it a silent letter. Another example is night. You know, what is opposite of day? Night. Okay? When we spell night, it is N-I-G-H-T. But do we pronounce the G? Do we pronounce it? It is there in writing. You write it, you spell it. But when you pronounce it, do you pronounce the G? No. So the G is like a silent letter. Likewise, in Arabic, in the Quran, there are 3 letters which can be, it has the potential to be a silent letter, and those 3 letters we are Alif, Waw, Ya. 3 letters, Alif, Waw, Ya. These 3 letters have the potential to be silent. Now, how will we know whether the Alif, Waw, and Ya is silent, or do we read them, do we pronounce them? So it's very easy. If the Alif, Waw, Ya doesn't have a haraka, doesn't have a fatha or kasra or dhamma or sukoon or any haraka, if it does not have a haraka or a sukoon, then it will be silent, it will not be read. So example, let's look box number 1. In box number 1, there are 3 letters, Dad, Ha, Ya. 3 letters. How many harakats can you see? 2. That means the 3rd letter, the Ya, has no haraka, but although it is written down, it is there in writing, but when it's time to pronounce it, it will be silent. You will not pronounce the Ya. So how will the first word be read? Duhan, Duhan. In box number 2, the last letter is a Ya and it has no haraka, therefore it is silent. Ya Bushra, Ya Bushra. In box number 3, the last letter of the word, the alif, is silent. And why is it silent? Because it has no haraka. Zalamu, Zalamu. In box number 4, the last letter is an alif and it is silent. It will not be read because it has no haraka. Nasha'u, Nasha'u. In box number 5, the second letter, which is an alif, is silent because it has no haraka. It is silent. Mi'ata, Mi'ata. In box number 6, the middle letter waw is silent because it has no haraka. The haraka on top, which is the long fatha is for the lam. Is for the lam. Waw has no haraka, so waw will be read, is silent. The waw will not be read. Aswalatuka, Aswalatuka. In box number 7, Allahu. Allahu, there is in between the alif and the lam, there is a letter which will be silent, which will not be read. So it's read Allahu, Allahu. In box number 8, if you look at box number 8, the last two letters waw and alif, the last two letters waw and alif are silent because they have no haraka. And just for additional knowledge, if you look at the first letter, which is alif, and the third letter, which is ra, in between the alif and ra, there's another letter which is lam. That is also silent. That is also silent. Okay, that is a lam. And at the end, the last two letters, waw and alif, they are silent because they also do not have a haraka. So how will this word be read? Ar-riba, ar-riba. Box number 9. In box number 9, the silent letter is waw because it has no haraka. Ulaika, ulaika. Good. Okay, let's move on to box number 10. Okay, from box number 10 to box number 18, we will now be looking at, now in box number 10 to 18, every box has two words. Every box has two words. Now sometimes when two words are connected, in between the two words you will have alif lam. In between the two words you will have alif lam. Sometimes the alif is not read, and sometimes the lam, so sometimes the alif is not read, and sometimes the alif and lam both are not read. Okay, so inshallah we'll explain to you word by word. So starting from box number 10. In box number 10, the alif is not read, and it is easy to know why, because the alif doesn't have a haraka. Wasbir, wasbir. In box number 11, there's an alif. After the waw, there's an alif, and the alif has no haraka, it is silent. Alif is not read. Wamra'atuhu, wamra'atuhu. In box number 12, after the first letter fa, there's an alif, and that alif is not read. So the fa is joined to the lam. فَالْمُدَبِّرَاتِ, فَالْمُدَبِّرَاتِ. In box number 13, after the first word yakadu, there's an alif, but that alif is not read, but the lam after that is read. So yakadu is joined to the lam. Yakadul, yakadul baruqu, yakadul baruqu. Okay, in box number 14, the first word qawmi, there's a ya silent. Okay, after the meme there's a ya, the ya is silent. In the next word there's an alif in the beginning, alif is silent. So you have at the end of the first word the ya is silent. In the beginning of the second word the alif is silent. So you have two letters which are silent. So that means that the meme is joined to the ta. قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا. And also right at the end there's an alif which is also silent. In total you have ya silent, alif silent, and at the end you have another alif silent. Three letters are silent. قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا, قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا. Good. Box number 15. In box number 15, in the middle there's an alif that is silent, and the way we know that is because it has no haraka. زوجين اثنين, زوجين اثنين. Good. Box number 16. In box number 16, at the end of the first word, there is a ya, yukti, the ya is silent. And in the beginning of the second word, there's an alif which is silent. So ya and alif is silent. So yu'til hikmata, yu'til hikmata. In box number 17, the first word is read sami'u. Now after sami'u, there's a waw that is silent. You have an alif that is silent. You have another alif that is silent. You have a lam that is silent. You have four letters which are silent. In between the two words, four letters are silent. Alif, alif, lam. Sorry, apologize. The four letters which are silent are waw, alif, alif, lam. So, sami'u, the ain will jump and be joined to the dhal. Sami'udh, sami'udh dhikra, sami'udh dhikra, sami'udh dhikra. Box number 18. In box number 18, in between there's an alif that is silent, the alif, and at the end of the second word, at the end there is a ya with no haraka that is also silent. Okay, so it's read لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى, لَمُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Good. Now the last three boxes, box number 19, 20, 21. In these three boxes, all three boxes start with the word ana. You can see it's written ana, ana, ana. But actually, ana, after the noon, there's an alif. That alif is not read. So rather than reading ana, it will be read ana. Ana. Okay? In all three boxes, it's read ana. So let's read box number 19. Ana abidun. Ana abidun. Box number 20. Ana nadhirun. Ana nadhirun. And box number 21. Ana akhuka. Ana akhuka. Well done. Inshallah, please watch this again and practice and try to remember which letters and why these letters are not read and they are silent. Inshallah, take care, look after yourselves until the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.